Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is Super Old Game Saturday, and I got an experience for you tonight. This is going to be one of those brace yourselves games. I've been talking this game up. Hey, Overclockverse, you're just in time to experience the splendor, I guess, if you want to call it that, of Slam City with Scottie Pippen. Now, I'm going to discuss this game because I believe we need a little bit of an explanation before we start this. Now, you're seeing on screen, I'm in the Sega CD menu, like I was when we did Pitfall a couple months ago. And we've talked Sega CD before. We played Pitfall and Sonic CD. We also talked about the 32X before, playing Knuckles Chaotix. Well, you're probably thinking, alright, those were both add-ons for the Sega Genesis. So, what happens when you put them together? Well, Sega decided to do that for 6 games only. And most of them were full-motion video games. Actually, no, they all were. There were 6 of them. There was one that did not come out here. There's Surgical Strike. And then in the US, we had Night Trap, which is probably the most famous one. We had Fahrenheit, which is not to be confused with Indigo Prophecy, the game from Quantic Dream. We had Supreme Warrior. We had the game we're going to be playing tonight, and... Corpse Killer is the other one. A lot of those have actually been re-released on modern systems. This one hasn't, and this is the 132X CD game I own, so you need to have both the Sega CD and the 32X connected. So I'm in the Sega CD menu. If I didn't have the 32X on board with this thing, I put the discs, yes, multiple, on this one, nothing would happen. But okay, here's the game we're going to play. It is Slam City with Scottie Pippen. This was developed by Digital Pictures, Tom Zito, who led that company. And in the 90s, the thought was, with the advent of CD technology, it was going to be a push for full motion video. Basically blending movies and video games. And actually, even though I mentioned Digital Pictures an idea, in the 80s there was a project I think that Hasbro was working on where they did a lot of video footage that they took to put into a concept of a video game to go along with that. The project they were working on got scrapped, and then Tom Zito flew in and said, hey, I want to take these, license this stuff, and put it on a bunch of CD systems, Sega CD being one of them, 3DO, I think there was something on CDI as well, and 32X CD in the case of this. And that's what happened, and this game, this is the one 32X CD game I own. It is Slam City with Scottie Pippen. It was also a normal Sega CD, and it was also on the PC as well. It came out in 1994. Okay, 1995, I think, for this version. Okay, well, the reason I think we want to have a little bit of a prelude also is because this, I have not necessarily, I've realized this has been a little bit of a blind spot for me. I've not necessarily played a bunch of games that are either really, really bad or are the kind of things that, I think I want to show you guys this game. And it kind of goes to something I've been doing with my coworkers when I've seen them, and soon enough, hopefully, we'll be able to, reinstate this. Their idea of Bad Game Thursday, where we show off a game that either we think is bad or might be worth talking about it. I heard about it in the documentary for Night Trap. So they mentioned, because I have the Switch version of Night Trap, we can show that off. I also have Double Switch for the Switch as well. And on the Sega CD, I also have Sewer Shark as far as other Digital Pictures releases. I remember seeing one of those, I guess they mentioned feasibly, like the Slam City concept. Basically what this is full motion video basketball, one-on-one basketball. This is actually, I think, the first sports game I'm playing with this channel. So this is going to be a way to start. But as I mentioned, the idea of Bad Game Thursday was show friends games either I have or they have, just to have that communal experience. So I'm going to say snark and laughter and some kind of, comments from the peanut gallery are going to be fitting tonight. Please do that. Do not expect also a few things. We're not going to see much of Scottie Pippen tonight, and we're also not going to be seeing much skill from me playing this game because this game is insanely cryptic. So, with that, before we start the game, again, I want to kind of go on this because I feel there's a lot that needs to be mentioned, a lot of setup, because I have a complete in-box copy of this that I bought used for $2 about 13 years ago. And this game is almost $100 now. I had no idea it jumped that high. But I feel I need to read off to you the box. I'm literally holding it here of how they sold this game. So, Slam City with Scottie Pippen. This ain't no cartoon game. This is where real basketball is played, by real players on the street. If you can beat these guys and earn enough respect, you actually get to take on Scottie Pippen. A real interactive movie, not a computer-generated game. Perform spectacular live-action moves to the hoop. Go one-on-one with 5 of the slamminest hoopsters on the blacktop, and earn enough respect to get a shot at Scottie Pippen, not some cartoon look-alike. Filmed in Hollywood with real basketball players, there's nothing virtual about this reality. Slam City has all the action of one-on-one basketball. You can shoot or drive to the hoop. You can steal the ball, block shots. It's all in here. You got the rock, now take it to the hole. Oh my god, please stop. You're begging me to stop now. Wait till we get to the game. And the other thing is, I guess in some ways this is also going to be a live reading the instruction manual. That's so cheesy. You wait, my friend. Thank you, by the way, for showing up for this, weird goodness. I mean, this is the kind of thing that makes Night Trap look subtle. It makes Night Trap look like an Oscar nominee in a lot of ways, too. And a better game, for sure. So, alright, with that prelude, let's get started. So let's hit the CD-ROM thing, and Sega or Sonic the Hedgehog will take us in. Alright. Yeah, he's like wagging his fingers like, yeah, you just signed your own death warrant. Or I did, but if nothing else, I hope that this is going to be something entertaining and curious. Starting from the opening cinematics, we have... And a rap song sung by Scottie Pippen himself of the Chicago Bulls. I'm gonna let you have a listen.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. What you gonna get? Gonna get respect. What you gotta get? Gotta get respect. What you wanna get? Wanna get respect. So how do you earn respect? Welcome to the city, the slams with no pity. I hope you're ready. The slam, slam, slam city. If you're committed to hard hitting, good riddance. Cause ain't nobody tricking, sticking Scottie Pippen. With the team all without one, you're gonna get done. One-on-one, and here I come, son. Just a thought that brings pressure. But so what? Cause on the court, I'll be dunking like donuts. So bring your ego, can't wait to do you. You want respect, if you earn it, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. So bring it on, bring your best hook, ace, bring your best shot. But if you're beaten, then I guess not. What you wanna earn here is respect, yo. You wanna win, you gotta get all you can get, yo. Just remember, ace, you've been won. So bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. What you gonna get? Gonna get respect. What you gotta get? Gotta get respect. What you wanna get? Wanna get respect. So how do you earn respect? What you gonna get? Gonna get respect. What you gotta get?
That's a bad foursome. I tell you what, dominate the court, earn some real respect. You and me will play one-on-one. What do you say?
Alright, so that is Scottie Pippen. He's telling if we beat these four guys, we're going to see him. That's the only time we're going to see him tonight, because this game is insanely difficult. And I'll tell you right now, the other reason I have the box out, oof indeed. I think the other reason I wanted to show this off is because I wanted to show, when we mentioned this came up when we were playing Knuckles Chaotix a few months ago. I was mentioning the idea of, okay, what other games do I have as far as 32X based? And this came up because it was, 32X sort of, because you need that to use it. And I got the sense, just giving off of this, there are probably people thinking like, this is not a real game. There's no way that people made this. But apparently they did, and apparently the game is loading again. Alright. I've actually...
You want some of this? You got it.
Okay, is this demo? Okay, I'm gonna see this. Yeah, it is. Alright, so this is a preview of what we're gonna see. We're gonna press... Okay, yeah, he got face. Alright, that is the idea of what we're gonna see. Okay, because I didn't press start on the menu in time. But alright, so here's the thing about this game. This game came on 4 discs. There's 4 players who are gonna face off. We have Fingers, we have Juice, we have Mad Dog, and we have Smash. Each disc has one of these players on it. We're gonna start with Fingers. We have disc 1 in the console. And we can switch discs with this. It's not going to be a situation where the feed is going to cut, which is very nice, and means we can show it off. And also, I'm going to go in the options for this. But yeah, so I wanted to show this game off. I'm thinking, people are saying, like, this can't be a real game. No, it is. I own it. I'm playing it. You're seeing it right here. But I'm going in the options menu just for a couple things. You have the idea of music you can set up. Game type, which is basically how long you want to play to. Up to 7 points, 11. You can also go on time limit. We're going to stand to 7. 4 discs, seriously. Yes, 4 discs. I mean, think of all of the 4-disc games you've played in your life. Games like Final Fantasy IX, or The Legend of Dragoon, or D2, or I think Blue Dragon on the Xbox 360 was in the game like that. 4 discs, but to be fair, I understand it in the case of this one because they have a lot of video footage. In fact, I think they said, yeah, on the box it says, quote, over 2.5 hours of full motion video. I guess when you really think about that, that does make sense to be able to store everything. For a basketball game, well, for a basketball game that's controlled with full motion video, I mean, you're seeing what I'm seeing now, or what I'm showing, or what I was showing. So, for the technology, I get it. Although, even by digital picture standards, most of the other digital pictures games do not run on 4 discs. I think the only other one that does is Supreme Warrior, which I don't have. Even Night Trap, I think, was on 2, on the 32X CD and on the 32X itself. But yeah, for that reason, I understand it, for the tech. That being said, whether it's a good game or not, that's another case. But anyway, for the options, there's a training mode, which basically, the only thing it does is it puts on a little indicator on the screen in order to tell you when you can do a break. And you don't get respect points. Because the point is, we're going to be playing against these players. And when we play against them, when we do well or not well, it's going to be not well in my case. I'm just going to, I'm going to level with you. I'm not good at this game. It is very cryptic, which is why I have the manual on standby. And if you want to get this game for some morbid reason, make sure you get a complete copy. Make sure you have an instruction manual for this, because otherwise you're not going to know how to play it. There's also an option, Buckets. I'm going to turn this on. Now, what Buckets does is, as in basketball, when you make a shot and you score, the ball goes back to the other place. No thanks. No thanks to buying this. Well, that's the other reason I think I want to show this off, and another reason why I do this every week, because, in all honesty, there's going to be games that I'm going to show, or games that people ask for. I mean, nobody in their right mind would ask for this, but still, I have it, so I want to show this off. Something fun, something light, something like, wow, what kind of game is this? But in a way, I think it kind of is just, I want to demonstrate, and I started this whole show for the concept of this, and I thank you very much for coming in to watch every week, to showcase some weird stuff in gaming, I mentioned a few weeks ago, we get into the guts of gaming, we really do, and we're kind of just showing every aspect, the good, the bad, the weird, of which this is kind of a bit of the last two. But I'm turning Buckets on, because then when I get scored upon, at least the ball will alternate, so I won't get into a situation where I'm, gonna be just waiting. Alright, so let's go to exit. This makes my night, honestly, and I can't tell you how much that means to me, just the idea that, because in all honesty, I've mentioned this before, everybody in the audience, you could be doing anything with your time on a Saturday night. I'm only doing this for fun. This is not something I'm getting paid for. This is nothing like that. But I kind of have seen this, especially today. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad that this has been something that you've attached to, and you found interest and, entertainment value on it. I want to provide that. Don't want to talk about it. Fair enough. Don't worry. That's the whole point of this show, is come in, put all your troubles or worries or whatever they are out the window. It's like, just come in here. We're going to have a nice, relaxing time, a fun time. We'll have something funny seeing this is a real game, and we'll have that experience. And next week, of course, so like first you wanted to see Star Fox 64, I'm giving you Star Fox 64, and we're going to have a great time with that. So, I guess consider this a little bit of I'm not going to say this is taking your medicine so much as this is just a weird demonstration. I guess you could consider this the April Fool's Day episode of the show, 2 days late. But, point is that we have the game, we're all set. You also have statistics and things. Alright, so with that, let's try and play this. That's the key word here, try. Now, okay, we have fingers, press start, we're going to play. And I also have the manual on standby so I can explain how this works, or try to make it work.
You want some of this? You got it.
So this is fingers, we're playing on him. I'm Ace, I'm in the screen here. So I have the ball, and I'm moving left and right, and when he doesn't move like that, I have to try and hit the B button to try and go around him to... But you also can't really tell how it is, or the other thing you can do is press the A button and have the ball slammed back. Because the other thing is you could take a, I guess a free shot, technically. Or he'll just do that, and unfortunately, go back. I didn't even have time to go about that. Well, let's see a cutscene here. It'll show you the peanut gallery, too.
Excuse me.
My name's Smooth.
Alright, so that's smooth, not very smooth, but we'll see. What does respect mean? Well, we'll see. One thing I'm gonna try to do is try to get the rebound, which I missed. I guess what respect means is, I'm gonna say this is gonna be turning into a very existential playthrough when you really think about it. But I'll explain in a second. As Smooth tries to score again.
Why you say that?
Because you've been constantly running through my mind.
Brother, please.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Okay, so respect in the concept of this game is when you do things and you score, or I get scored on by fingers. Get used to seeing this, by the way. When you do that, you get points, And the idea is you have to try and get a billion points, and when you do, you can then one-on-one Scottie Pippen. Now, there is a save option for this, so if I somehow make some progress feasibly, maybe reset. Actually, wait, did I not turn on buckets? Oh, I blocked him. I've never done that before. All right, hit the A button on that, and you hit it just right, and that's the key. You have to hit it just right. You also have that little meter over there, and you press up and down the D-pad. You could try and a billion, Jesus. To be fair, though, the thing with the respect system in this game is that the points are all over the place. I mean, you could say it's like, if you've ever seen the television show Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points don't matter. Well, it's not that the points don't matter, it's just they're arbitrary. The same way that show sometimes is. It's just that idea is like, I lost everything just by, you know, having him break by me. But since I did that block on him, which I'm glad I was able to show, because that's me seeing something new on this game. Okay, well...
Violation, you're ball ace.
Okay, yeah, she wants to be with me, technically, if I'm good enough. But yeah, we got a shot clock violation, so there is some real elements of basketball. If you time the shot right and have that meter... I made the shot, wow.
If I start sweating, let me know. 'Cause I ain't going out like that.
Okay, alright, I'm actually doing a little better than I expected, but... Because you're controlling this with full motion video, so you're having it so you're pressing a button, you don't necessarily know if you're going to be able to have anything happen or not. You're just basically pressing a button to hope that you're going to make a shot, but I didn't shoot that right. Oh, wait. But if you press the A button, I believe, you can try and make the rebound.
All I do, girl, is carry your books, hold your hand, and walk you home from school.
Alright, well, smooth is nothing if not persistent, I'll say that, but, alright. As you notice, every so often you get little cutscenes for that, and I was trying to he was doing a breakaway. You can hit the B button when he's doing that to hopefully block him, but it's not always a guarantee. Or sometimes it's so quick, he'll just do that, and he's hit 7, so we're done. So I lost.
Man, I almost broke a sweat running points on you so fast. You got beat down bad, man.
Don't worry about me, Ace. I've got a ride.
Alright, so with that, the girl goes with fingers, and I lost. And they give you a little bit of respect, or not respect, they give you a little bit of a stats out on this game. I still can't believe I got that block. That was kind of amazing in and of itself. You take the little things, honestly, in this game. You think, like, alright, you play really good basketball games, stuff like NBA Jam, stuff like NBA 2K, stuff like even some of the entries of NBA Live that were decent. You're thinking, well, alright, I'm in complete control of what's going on. Sounds great. But, yeah, in this case, it's like the simple thing of just being able to do a block shot, which is easy in those other games, even if you're not necessarily skilled in basketball. That, you want to just take what little you got. And we got the credits. We'll show the credits at the end of this game when we're done. Actually, I want to go back to options, because I want to make sure I had buckets on. Okay, I did have buckets on. Let me also confirm that that's what that is. Alright, and also, I guess, maybe go in for the rest of the characters. I guess, I'm playing as Ace, by the way, who's trying to go against Fingers, and we'll switch discs as we go on. Actually, you know, I probably should also show off the training mode at some point. We're gonna try again, try beat Fingers. Might play like 3 games with these guys, then go to the next, or with him, then go to the next disc, and just,
You want some of this?
if nothing else, again, have a relaxing night, a relaxing discussion, and questions from the audience of, what the hell am I seeing, even if it's just something like that, while trying to hope I do well, and... Okay, yeah, see, that's the thing, you're waiting for an opening, you're watching the video.
Around you like a detour sign.
Yeah, and so he does that. But you can't really tell because you're basically pressing the button to video footage, and it doesn't always line up as well as you'd like. It's not like Night Trap even, it's not even like Sewer Shark. Right there, I didn't have time to even hit the B button to, you know, stop him. So in a lot of ways, this is not going well, and as I said, this is not a game I'm showing skill off for.
Oh my goodness, your defense is sorry. My boy Jeff here can D up better than that.
Yeah. Yo, what you say?
You can D up better than that?
Oh, you dissing my defense.
Alright, so yeah, they don't like my defense. Every so often you'll get the peanut gallery comments from them, which makes it cheesy as anything, but also kind of funny at least. You'll go like playing. You can also put your hands up like that to try and help make the shot, but again, hit the B button, or A button, to grab it. Okay, I get respect. So, the points really are just very arbitrary. It's just like, okay, can I keep playing well and winning games? Really is where we're at. And also that meter over there, based on the size of what that bar is, if I'm far enough...
Says Ace wins this game big. A blow out.
Bam! And I want my money, boy. I want my money.
And they're gonna lose their money, honestly, in the bag. I was saying that meter over there, the green meter, you want to move up and down the D-pad for that one if you're going to try and do shots, which are on the A button, by the way, so that when you're far enough away from the video that you get it going, but if you come back, you have to also press the button to try and rebound it. But honestly, there's not really much else to say about it as far as how that plays, and you're kind of at the mercy of the full motion video. But you can also kind of take advantage of that and hopefully get some respect points. I'll say this. If I end up getting decent amounts of respect points, I will use the save on this. Okay, I broke. So there you go. You want to do that, and you want to make the, you know, the shot. And at that point, I get respect points. I think you have to beat every player, I think, feasibly. Alright, but since my shot clock's running down, I want to make sure that I'm trying to launch to hopefully get the shot, and I did.
He's staying back, bam! Number net. Oh my God, it was nice.
I can't believe I'm doing this well, honestly, on this. Yeah, but that's kind of the thing about this game. Even when I feel like I did well, it doesn't feel like I necessarily earned it. And because of that, I lost some respect. But feasibly, if I can get... Oh, come on, fingers. I didn't even have a chance. I don't think it... Oh, we'll also see this because I have enough points. Okay, because Okay, he got it. I lost. Like anyone would. And my respect went down to 0.
He's barely lost. Thought he might actually pull it off.
Yeah, too bad, too sad. You're a loser, but you're cute.
I know winning isn't everything, but it helps.
Alright, so that's a little better, and they stitched the video together, so in this case, I didn't lose by as many points, so in that case, it makes it okay. At least a little better. It's like, okay, they're not going to totally make fun of me. But, yeah, that is technically the game. And that is what we're going to be seeing, and there's also scoring things and credits, as we mentioned, we'll see before. Or see later, I should say. Alright, we're going to try one more time. Actually, you know what? Since we're not going to get much, I guess, much distance as far as it, let's show what the training mode is. And it's not much of a training mode, honestly. It's pretty much, they put, like, indicators on the screen to help you understand how it works. So, let's take another shot. By the way, also, when you turn on training mode, there's no expect here. You don't get it, but you don't lose it as well, so... At least there's that. Alright, let's see if we can at least practice against Fingers and beat him. I guess the idea, it's like Night Trap, I guess, in that... Okay, you see that break thing. When you see that, you have to get a sense of, like, where he's going.
And sprinkle them on some salad. And put some dressing on the boy.
Yeah, that's the line I referenced when I played Knuckles Chaotix. I said, no, I'm not joking, that line is a real thing. It is. But I was saying, when you see that little break thing there...
I keep my knees up so people can see my kicks. Clean, ain't they?
Alright, yeah, I'm trying to stay silent sort of during some of these things, because it's random when those little cutscenes will happen. But I was just saying, when you see the break on the screen, it means either Fingers in this case will try and do a break, and if you hit the B button, you can try and stop him feasibly. Or kind of move yourself around, because I'm moving left and right. Look how hokey this looks. Or feasibly, I guess in this case, try and get it so he gets a shot clock violation. And then I get the ball back. But also works if I'm playing on offense, so here he goes here. You basically look for his movement there. When he does a movement there, they get that little break point thing on there. So you hit the B button feasibly there, you can go unless I shot clock violate 2.
Tick-tock, baby. The clock hit 10.
Yeah, you're one to talk, Fingers. You also have the shot clock violation. Unfortunately, there's also no difficulty option in this game, so even though I'm on practice, there's no way to kind of see the end of the game feasibly, or see Scottie Pippen outside the opening cutscene, so... Yeah, so get used to seeing this, but we'll see different players we're going to play as well. Alright, yeah, so this is, yeah, this is the game, feasibly. As I said, this is more of a, let me show you this is a real thing. Let me just give you a little bit of a demonstration. This is like the Bad Game Thursday concept. I guess we can call this Subpar Game Saturday, and that's being really nice. I got 7-0. Or it was 7-0 on him. It was a blowout. Yeah, no kidding.
Don't worry about me, Ace. I've got a ride.
Okay, so, yeah, fair enough. She's not my type anyway. Or in the immortal words of Gene Siskel, with all due respect, always brunettes, never blondes. That's, okay, I don't mean that. I mean, there are definitely a lot of nice people who are blonde or every hair color, but it's like preference. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. But see, that's what this game does to you. That's what a game like this does to you. It gets you snarky. It gets you kind of just saying a lot of weird things when you're just looking about the fact that, hey, we're in the city and we're playing. All right, let me just turn off the training because I think that saves as well if you switch discs. I'm not going to switch discs. We'll play one more game on Fingers. 4 discs of 4 games with him. Again, they're short because of the way I have it set up. But we'll see. And
You want some of this? You got it.
I mean, for a technical standpoint, I guess it's okay. I mean, the video is not full screen. It's not as grainy as some other stuff on the Sega CD, or as the Sega CD version of this is. Okay, I missed. But on the Sega CD, it's much grainier, although it still looks pretty damn grainy here, as you're seeing. But I think, and first, I want to go back to something. When the first time you came on, it was with a Sega CD game. It was with Sonic CD. And you were asking a question, a very, I guess, astute and very interesting question, which was, why did the Sega CD fail? I mean, this is merely more the mixing that and the 32X, but the idea I mentioned with full motion video games, the idea that it seems like it's limited with what you're doing. And the idea that, okay, they have to kind of stitch it so that you're feasibly having some kind of interaction game-wise. I am moving left and right with Ace, while trying to, you know, stop him and keep him from breaking, and failing miserably. But in that case, that's kind of all that the game really is, and unlike Night Trap, where there were a few things to, you know, appreciate, or some other elements, because, like, oh yeah, you have to change the color codes of the house. Or in Sewer Shark, which honestly is a game, the more I'm thinking about it.
Ace just took a foot in the chest.
At least the shoe was clean.
Yeah, that line. Yeah, as I was saying, something like Sewer Shark, which honestly, maybe I was a little too harsh on. It's easier to follow as far as how the gameplay element of it works. But in this one, I mean, I guess it's ambitious for them to do full motion basketball like this. But yeah, it's not that great. There's also another sports game like this from Digital Pictures. It was on the Sega Saturn, actually. It was Quarterback Attack, where you play as a quarterback, and you're taking orders from Mike Ditka of the Chicago Bears. So fitting with the Chicago connection, because we have Chicago Bulls star Scottie Pippen in this game, Mike Ditka in Quarterback Attack. I never played that one, actually, because I don't have a Sega Saturn on me. But it kind of shows the idea, and I mentioned this as well a few months ago, which was, let's blur the lines in the idea of, in the 90s, blur the lines between video games and movies. Because the thought was, okay, video games, they wanted to, I mean, I think people making wanted them to be a huge industry, which they are now. No thanks mainly to this games like this. But it always is fascinating to go back to some of the attempts, and just to see some of the weird stuff that came out of it, of which this is definitely one of them. But I think with that idea of them trying to make, you know, movies, or gaming movies and things like that, I guess it kind of then resulted later on in people realizing, okay, something like this doesn't work because I'm not able to have much of a connection with what I'm going to. I don't feel like I'm really involved as much as I would like. But then you get something like Life is Strange, or The Walking Dead, or The Wolf Among Us, where it's that choose-your-own-adventure concept, where you're basically making choices, and you realize, okay, that's having an impact on the game, and you feel like I'm really driving the story, and my actions, the way I'm playing it, are going to have some kind of an impact. Okay, so we played it with Fingers enough. I mentioned this is a 4-disc masterpiece, if you want to put it that way. So let's put in disc 2. Okay, here's how this works. You have the names of the other characters, Fingers, Juice, Mad Dog, and Smash. Each disc has one character. Press start on Juice. The disc tray of my Sega CD, which is the Model 1 unit, by the way, comes out, and it says, insert disc 2 and press start. Now, I'm just reaching over for this. Now, one thing I did want to say is that I was a little nervous doing this when I was testing this, because my Sega CD does not always read the discs very well. Or sometimes, because I'm looking at the disc of disc 1, it seems pretty pristine, but sometimes it'll have a disc reader, like, I'll press the start button for it to put the disc in, and then the tray will come out, and it's like, oh, it couldn't read the disc. Thankfully, in the case of this game, it's not doing that, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, with that, yeah, now we can play as Juice. The way it plays is the same. I just want to make sure the options are set as far as buckets and all that, which buckets is on, or maybe I want buckets off. You know, let me quickly take a look at the manual. Okay, no, I should have had it off. Okay, never mind. Buckets I wanted off, not on. Because, like, wait a minute, I had it reversed. I basically was saying, well, you know, when you have it on, that you pass over possession of the ball when you score. It was the opposite. So, alright, let's try this juice.
Boy, I'm gonna drink you like milk. Play ball.
Alright, so Juice is gonna drink us like milk, despite the fact she's named Juice. And you have a different, border around the graphics here, around the video. Same concept as far as how it plays. But yeah, she really is gonna get into it, as does everyone. I guess that's what you can say about these games, too, is that they decided, you know... Ah, crap. They decided to go all out.
How's it feel digesting a basketball?
I don't know. I mean, I should probably not be alive if I'm digesting it, unless I'm digesting it in pieces. God, I'll say this. This is one of those games I'm gonna love to watch the playback on. I'm gonna love to show people, just because I'm like, yeah, this is the Bad Game Thursday idea. And that's what a lot of my friends and coworkers and in between tended to do with stuff like that, which is, here's a game, let's play it, let's just see their reaction. And I have a lot of funny stories that go with that, of stuff like, the Tower of Jiraga, Sonic 06, the Shaq Fu sequel for the Switch in particular. I remember one of my coworkers said, quote, "Who would ever want to make, play, or crowdfund a game like this? I want names." To which I wonder what they think of this game, which is like, yeah, this is the one where I really have that question more than anything. Alright, but yeah, I dropped it, and so... yeah, I'm getting scored on like crazy. But actually, I guess to that... be right back. Alright, take your time. But I guess to that, I guess to go with Shaq Fu, because there was the initial Shaq Fu game on the Super Nintendo and Genesis, and there are portable versions of it as well. And you ran into a situation with the 90s where basketball is a huge thing. I mean, the success of Michael Jordan was massive. The success of Shaquille O'Neal. So, teams like the Chicago Bulls and the LA Lakers and everything in between was huge. So, in that way, the idea of having a game like this made sense. Of like, alright, let's play into basketball, into that 90s element. And same with the way it looks and sounds here. Because you're like seeing like the audio of the game and the... yeah, okay, it looked like it froze there with the video, but... again, 7-0.
You should have never stepped in here. Take your butt home.
But I already am home. Alright, so... yeah, Juice is really humiliating me. But as I was saying, in the 90s, it made sense as far as wanting to kind of try elements of basketball. And nothing else, this game did stand out as something unique and weird. Folks, I'm gonna go back to options, make sure I don't have training on. Okay, don't. And music I can have on, although weird case about the music in this game. The music is Sega Genesis music. It's like the, you know, the grungy sound. They didn't actually have CD audio for the Genesis music.
Boy, I'm gonna drink you like milk. Play ball.
Then again, I guess it's because of the fact they have all this video on this. So that's what took up all the space. I'm gonna try and do something better with Juice, instead of having her do that to me. Yeah, this is embarrassing, but again, that's the point of this game. But at least I broke it. Holy shit! Wow, I've never seen that before. This is honestly the most I think I've ever played this game, and I've owned this for like 13 years. But wow, okay, yeah, so I'm learning things too, just seeing like what that weird thing is like. Wow. Alright, let's see if I can hopefully make that layup, but no. And the rebounding is really weird too, because it's so strange on how you have to be in the position of that, and also, because it's game-based, it looks so hokey with, like, the way they kind of pose that. Alright, you find something fascinating writing down. I hope it's not, what I'm doing now. Okay, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to hit A, or I shouldn't have hit A. Alright, I think when you do that jump, you have to hit the A button. I think you have to hit the ball towards it. But unfortunately, she broke, and there we go. Alright, come on. I always want to win one game, but I don't think that's going to happen. This is going to be worse than the virtual chess playthrough, which is like why I kept losing on the computer, but this is much different than that. It's also something that there's not as much skill to be putting to something like that, or to other games where I've had difficulties with that, like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, for example. Alright, come on, Juice. Come on, Juice. I know you ain't got no game. Okay, no, she does have game. She's just destroying me. Alright. Alright, so... oh, good, I broke. I mean, so I'm doing decent on the respect points front, at least. Alright, come on. I don't want to... I think it's... I don't know if it's random what happens, but it just seems always confusing about when I can, you know, break to stop them or not. Ah. I mean, I guess technically then, I mean, since we're kind of seeing the same things with this, and we'll do this, I guess, when I go to the other players. But I guess, chat then, what are some of your experiences with the Digital Pictures games, full motion video in gaming in general, or other basketball games? Feasibly other basketball games you'd rather see me play than this one, and I don't blame you.
See, that's how I school my boy Jeff. Ta-da! Yeah, right. Boy, you better shut up. I can play ball.
Can he play ball? Probably better than me, but I'm actually not doing too bad against Juice. But I think she's gonna win. Honestly, the best way to get points, I think, is to try and do the jump shots, but usually if you're either too close to her or too far away, you're not gonna make it. Alright, come on. Fortunately there, she got the ball and I lose.
Close game or not, you got stunned. Now get out.
Well, it was better than last time. That's the weird thing that happens to me when I play this game. I play it, and I tend to do really badly, but then get a little better, but then not well enough to, you know, go through the rest of it. Yeah, good luck seeing those, respect points. Also, there is save in this game, by the way, to the Sega CD's internal memory. To think, Pitfall the Mine Adventure did not have save to it on this system. This game does. Yeah, let your head be wrapped around that.
Boy, I'm gonna drink you like milk. Play ball.
Alright, let's try against Juice one more time. I guess in the meantime... Oh. Okay, yeah, see, that's the other thing about the video, is that...
Look like an angel out the sky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fine, okay. They'll probably make a nice couple, but... Anyway, that's the weird thing about the video sometimes. The way it shows... Holy... Okay, okay, this has been worth playing just to be able to show some of these other aspects of this game off. Because I've never seen a lot of these videos before. But, as I was saying, is that... With something like this... With the way the video works is that... Even when I look like I'm gonna do a break... I think, well, it lulls you into a false sense of security. Because you think, I'm gonna be able to make that shot. I'm gonna be able to break past her. And then the animation or the video shows, no, I dropped the damn ball. So I'm like... Yeah, that can be really frustrating.
Get that weak shot out of here!
Well, or that too. So it lulls you to a false sense of security, so that's not what you want to have with, like, a basketball game. Let's put it this way. I can go outside right now and play basketball better. How'd I do that? Pure luck. Alright, hopefully we'll see if that luck can take me to victory. Alas, no. At least not yet. But point is, I was to say, I could go outside and play basketball, even having not played in forever. And I'd probably do better than playing this game. I think you would as well. Yeah, I think you're looking for her to make a move like that, and then... Oh, wow. Yeah, this is glorious. For probably all the wrong reasons, but it still is glorious all the same. Alright, at least my respect is fluctuating a little. Alright, come on. Oh.
Yeah, everybody out here owes me $5. It's payday.
Alright, so there you go. Alright, so that was Juice. And with that, I guess we'll try another character. We'll go to the next disc. I mean, admittedly, this is not going to be that long of a playthrough, feasibly. Or they're actually feasibly, I guess what I could do. If it gets really too short, I might put in Sewer Shark as well. Just because. We'll watch the full credits later. Alright, so next on the docket, we got our asses kicked by Fingers and Juice. So who's next on the docket? Alright, next we have Mad Dog, who is on disc 3. Alright, let's do that. Press start. Insert disc 3. Well, alright, this is definitely working better as far as the disc switching situation than Metal Gear Solid did. But at least that was just one disc, and it's a way better game. And we weren't switching it every 15 minutes. Alright, well, disc 3. Let's see what Mad Dog has to do with it. Not Mad Dog McCree, another full-motion video game. And what I could feasibly show off, although I'm not sure which version to show off, because I don't have it on this system. And I don't have any of the other re-releases of it. Because it was on the Wii, and it was also on the PlayStation 3, which, let's go back to that from last week. We were talking about the idea that Sony might pull the trigger on shutting down the digital store. They did. Last Monday, they said, we're shutting it down on July 2nd. So, if you want to get stuff to download for your PS3, PSP, or Vita, you want to get on that. And actually, I went to my local GameStop, or not GameStop, game store, my retro game store. I bought a PlayStation 3 for $100 that they had there. In fact, I was actually updating the drive to a bigger one right before I jumped on tonight. So yeah, I've been kind of getting a plan of like, okay, what should I be getting of stuff that's really expensive on that system, or from the PlayStation 1 or 2, or anything that I don't want to go away. So point is, PlayStation 3 is on the table. That includes Metal Gear Solid 4, which I picked up with the console. But we'll get to those in due time.
Your ball, Junior.
Yeah, Mad Dog cracks me up as far as, like, it is the idea of, you know, the old white man can't jump concept, which is a great movie, by the way, if you never saw that, but, man, is he overacting like crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Maybe he's not too mad. I mean, maybe we're gonna win again. Oh, who the hell am I kidding? I'm not gonna win. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Oh.
See what you got, Ace.
Okay, so while I'm trying to win against Mad Dog, which is never gonna happen. See, that's the other weird thing about the video, because I was so far away from him. He was over there. It seems like it's randomly stitched. So, like, oh yeah, why is he up in my face slamming the ball away? It's like, he should be far away, because I'm like, alright, fine, there it made sense, because I was, like, right next to him. But in the case of everything else, no, or at least before. Alright, so come on, let's break. Alright, made that shot. Alright, so it's kind of a close game at least, but again, that won't last.
Lock you up.
And my respect went to 0 just on that one score, so it's totally arbitrary as far as what the points are like.
See what you got.
Alright, let's try one more time. Come on.
Get that out of here.
Yeah, well, oh boy. Yeah, because I went to that side and then he got the ball still, so it's like the game's lying to me pretty much as far as how the video is, or they're not stitching in a way where it makes sense that, hey, I'm gonna have this reaction.
Come get some of this, punk. Your ball.
Let's try and make a jump. Okay, yeah, so much for that. Awful. Oh, okay, so there we go, 7-2, I lose. Again.
Man, you need a hard hat.
This is how you can tell it's 90s, look at the boombox.
What? Thank your girlfriend for me. $50 for my rent.
I will thank my girlfriend for this. I don't know if she's in witness to this, but she will be at some point, I swear to you. I'll show her this game. I'll say, like, this is a real game. It'll be like when I showed her... Actually, no, I'll talk about another game then. Captain Novelin for the Super Nintendo, which is a game that is a licensed game based on a line of insulin. It's actually a game teaching children about diabetes and controlling it. It's developed by the people who made the Mortal Kombat games for the Super Nintendo. Sculpture Software developed it. It's a weird game. I showed it to her. She was like, what were they doing making this game? In which case, that was a game that I think was made with good intentions. And feasibly, it's more playable than even this thing is. But, yeah, she was... If it's something really weird or snarky, she'll comment on it, and I love that. And I also love the fact that that's going on with this game in the chat now. I mean, in particular, there's like 3 examples of games I can think of where that's happened. It was Captain Novelin. It'll be this one when I show it. And then the other one was, there's another game I could show feasibly, but I don't know if I would be able to show this without, like, a video concept of me doing this. Babysitting Mama on the Wii, which is a spin-off of the Cooking Mama games, which comes with, like, a baby doll as a peripheral. You put the Wiimote in the back of it, and then you have to, you know, do, you know, raising of baby stuff. It's like a minigame collection on a system that had a ton of them already. And then, basically, the idea is, like, they keep giving you these warnings saying, like, please don't shake the baby. It's like, it's accidentally based on, like, how the Wiimote is going. I'm thinking, like, Jesus, that's, like, dark as anything. And whoa! I should have died making that jump. With me doing that, I would have hit the pavement and just slammed onto it into, like, a splat. But I guess that's the other appeal of the full-motion video games of this time, especially the digital picture stuff, is that they went... Give them credit for this. Give Tom Zito, who led that company, credit for this. They did not work in half measures. They did not say, like, oh, let's not do this because we fear we're going to be made fun of, or we think it's not going to work. They took it all the way. They took it to the hoop, or they took it to the hole, feasibly you want to call it, in, you know, basketball terminology. So they did it. So I give them credit for that, at least. And it makes for an interesting, and I guess, interesting idea of how gaming back then was. And the kind of thing that's a little different from all the stuff you played at the time. I mean, people played stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog, and Super Mario Brothers, and Donkey Kong Country, and Final Fantasy, things like that. And then there were games like this. And it wasn't until years later that I found out what this was, and found it in a used game store for $2, where now it's like almost $100. Like, I don't know how that happened, but I guess I should feel lucky, or maybe privileged, or maybe just, you know, able to be in a position of saying, like, okay, I have this game, you're not going to believe this, let me show you this, which is the whole point of tonight. And hopefully I'm entertaining you with the idea of that while I keep getting my ass handed to me by Mad Dog. And this is a preview to how I do Mad Dog McCree, which I mentioned there is a PlayStation 3 version. I'm tempted to download that one off of the store before they shut it off, just to make it easier to play.
You go, whoop. You what? Thank your girlfriend for me. $50 for my rent.
Alright. I'm going to try against Mad Dog one more time, and then we're going to go out into the last disc, and then I don't know if I'm going to continue with this, or if... You know, I might just, I guess, just for an extra bonus, I'll go get, what was it? Sewer Shark? You know what? I'm getting a little bit of a break. You're going to see on the screen, I'm muting the mic. I'm going to go into my room. I'm going to go grab Sewer Shark, so if we run out of time on this one, or it's like only like an hour or so, we'll take a look at that to show why that's actually a bit better than this. So I'll be right back. And I'm back. Actually, yeah, that is the first for me, too. I have not necessarily left the room when I've been doing something like this.
You're a ball, Junior.
Oh, wait, did I press start on this? Okay, I didn't know I had already pressed start to play. I thought it just went into the demo. Alright, come on, Mad Dog, let's just try and... See, I'm doing that lean against him. I mean, I guess it's not charging. Yeah, no kidding. I guess that's not charging, me bashing into him like that. Okay, because his feet were moving, so that's the case. I mean, I know a little bit about basketball, I guess. But it's not necessarily my forte. Alright.
Hey, you want some peanut butter with that jam?
No thanks. I have my own peanut butter that I just purchased in the store, thank you very much. Alright.
Man, give up now, save some face.
No, I don't care about saving face, honestly. I mean, if nothing else, I'll say this. This kind of goes back to something that happened in college one time. There's like a homecoming event, or like a, orientation thing for, like, new, students. I was not new at the time when that happened. They had a lot of game stuff set up. They had Dance Central 2 for the 360 setup, which was a dancing game that uses the Kinect for the 360 from Harmonix, the people who made Rock Band and Fuser and the initial Guitar Hero games. Whoa! Slam indeed. And anyway, I think I wanted to play it because I didn't have a Kinect at the time. I do actually have one, so we can show off stuff for that because I do have Sonic Free Riders in particular on that. We could show that, feasibly, at some point. I don't think I'm going to do that for the Super Sonic Game Saturday concept, but at the very least, like, that's an option. Yeah, I got killed again.
What? Thank you, girlfriend, for me. $50 for my rent.
Alright, I want to try and at least get a better, you know, you lost message against Mad Dog than I'm getting. So I'm going to try one more time with him, then we'll go on to Smash. And I guess we'll do Sewer Shark then, because, like, well, I can't think of another excuse to play that one, aside from this. And I have other games on Digital Pictures aside, but those are on the Switch, so we'll take a look at those some other time. But yeah, as I was saying, when I was in college, I was kind of in public playing Dance Central 2, actually to the tune of Venus by Bananarama, which was an interesting situation. I think somebody said to me, he said, I love the idea that you're so, to me, they say, you seem so confident in yourself of the, Jesus, alright. You seem so confident in yourself to be able to say, like, I don't care what people think of me going out, potentially making a fool of myself, potentially putting myself in a position of being able to be laughed at or ridiculed or whatever. And I'm not saying that to say like, you know, to boost up my ego, saying, like, look how great I am. Absolutely not. I'm saying that to make a point of, I'm willing to put myself out there to be, you know, because it's a risk to show a game off like this. It's a risk to show a game that I'm not doing well on. A game I'm sucking at, quite frankly.
Man, he went over you like a speed bump.
Or that the game is literally running me over like a speed bump, as Fingers is saying. And that changes too, where, by the way, when you have different discs, you have the other characters who will be on the sidelines, you know, making comments. I think that's the character we're going to see next. Smash. Actually, Mad Dog, he has a line here, I don't know if we're going to hear it, where he says, Ace must have on ankle weights! And given all the stuff you've heard him say tonight, is it any wonder he'd say something like that? But again, I was mentioning the idea of putting myself out there, because it's risky to play a game like this just because of how strange it is. Because, hey, it's going to be niche as anything. I guarantee you, there is no one on Twitch right now streaming this game. There's no one on Twitch who would ever stream this game. But I'm going to be different. I'm going to put myself out there to show you this game, show you that this is a real thing, and be willing to say, yeah, I'm not good at this game, but anybody would be the same way. Unless maybe they made the game, but who knows. And that will not be the case next week, because next week is going to be more of a, I guess, expert play, or more of a I know how to play when we do Star Fox 64, which is going to be a very nice time to have.
You go, whoop! You what? Thank your girlfriend for me.
Alright, yeah, you see the same cutscenes, by the way. When you hit the start button, it does a pause. You can't skip the cutscenes, so, yeah. There's that, too. Alright, you know what? I do want to try one more time on, Mad Dog, just to get a better ending. So we'll try one last time, and then we'll go to Smash, and we'll do, Sewer Shark. Honestly, Sewer Shark is the good game here, and I never really thought as much about it as I would have, but the more I'm playing this one, the more I'm thinking, yeah, at least the Sewer Shark, I kind of understood how it worked a little. That's going to be a taste of it. I'm not going to beat that game either, because I'm not good at that either, but at least it's a little more in line with the idea of what they're doing with full motion video and trying to make that into a game.
Get that weak stuff out of here!
It's also way cheaper to get than this one, at least on the Sega CD, whereas this is like almost $100 now. Alright, come on, let's get a shot on him. Oh. Alright, so yeah, I missed the rebound. Actually, also, when you put your hands up like that, you can also feasibly rebound as well to get it. Or try and block him with just the shot like I did when I first played it. I don't know how I was able to get that and get that nice blocked on screen. Oh, there we go. Oh, damn, I'm slamming indeed. Maybe this will be a little closer. Alright, there we go. Yeah, the thing, if this game was really working terrifically, when I see him... Okay, yeah, I didn't even have time to react to that one, but when I see him going to the left, I can go to the right and then just walk past. But again, I think they probably made it that way, like, otherwise it'd be too easy. Yeah, because right there, I'm going to go to the right, because he's over on the left, but that didn't work. So I'm going to try to take a shot and fail, but hopefully make the rebound. Okay, no. And that looks hokey as shit, that jump there. I mean, Super Shark's gonna look that way too, but I mean, honestly, again, I maybe have a little more of a like of that game just because I can kind of understand it a bit better. All right, come on, make the shot. There we go. All right, so this will at least be closer as far as you're losing to Mad Dog. All right.
Time again.
All right, so 3 to 5, not too bad. Okay, 3 to 4 now. Look like it bounced off his head. Awesome. Honestly, I can think about that. I'm thinking like, oh, that's like if you ever played it, NBA Street by EA, which is an awesome game. I definitely could show that one off. Because NBA Street is an awesome arcade basketball game. It was on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox, and there's a sequel, or a couple sequels actually, that are really terrific. There we go. Oh my god, okay, I'm not gonna jinx this thing, but there we go. 5 to 6. It is 1st to 7. Let's see, maybe I can make this happen. Maybe. Alright, come on. Come on, miss. There you go, miss. Oh. Also, you press the C button to steal. I forgot about that, but I still lost, and I lost all my respect points by losing by 2 points.
How you forced him to go all the way over you on his stunts.
You can't change a bet. No, I didn't. I just made another bet that's opposite of the last one, but for the same amount as the first one.
Alright, so that was a little better at least. It was 5 to 7. That is my best play specifically on this. Alright. Alright, so we got one more character we'll take a look at. We're going to take a look at Smash. Where is he? He's right here. Now we have to insert disc 4 into my Sega CD. Let's reach over and do it. It's definitely an interesting situation of having to switch discs like this live and switch multiple discs. There we go. Alright. So with that, let's give Smash a run, see what happens.
Ball.
Alright, straight to the point, I like that. Let's see Smash smash us. He's a strong silent type, eh? I always love how he's doing like that blocking thing. It looks like he's doing like a dance shuffle. Okay, he's definitely doing a dance shuffle now. Yeah, this game is strange if you can't, you know, get that from what you're seeing. Wow. That is hilarious. Just the idea of those shots. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Yeah, it seems like also there's a little bit of a pause in the video, and it's not like the disc is scratched either, so that's the other thing. I mean, how they just stitch the video together, so it seems like, oh yeah, there's a bit of a delay. Not horrible, but still noticeable. There's other games of theirs that seem like it's a little more smooth. Again, Super Shark. I think I'll show Super Shark off for that very reason, so I'm giving you 2 games for the price of 1. Still getting, you know, that ball slammed away. Alright, so while I try to take Smash down, I guess what are we thinking about? Okay, okay, after Smooth starts talking like that, what are we thinking about what we're seeing? Oh! Okay, I hit A by accident. Or is it one of those, no more, you don't have any words to be saying to this just because you're like, your jaws are on the floor, and you might need surgery on the back of it hitting it. Of like, wow, look at this. Which I wouldn't blame you for, just because it is so strange. I'd be the same way if I had never seen this game before as well. I was like, come on, Shaka Violet. Oh! Rejected! Okay, nice. That doesn't always happen, by the way, so I'll take it. But then he just will still break past me. Ow. He elbowed me. Hey, I'm back. Good to have you back. Not really much going on. We were kind of going through discs. We're on the 4th disc now. We're with, Smash. Oh, it looked like I might have had that.
Out of here, sucker!
It was close, Ace. This ain't horseshoes.
Yeah, I know. It's not... Yeah, it hasn't been going well, I guess, in the sense of me doing well at this game, but I had a decent game kind of close with Mad Dog, who's on disc 3, so I was like 5-7, I'll take it. Not really much else to be going into as far as that, but I was like, well, alright, just to show everything off in this game, and honestly, because I'm kind of getting to the point that the game, we're basically going to be done with this, or I'm basically showing off everything, because we're not seeing Scottie Pippen, I'm sorry, I'm just not good enough at this game, and it's too cryptic as far as how it's playing. We're not going to do that, so I was thinking, since I can put a disc in, and I can say that, hey, to this system, and it's not going to do a feed cut, I was going to put in Sewer Shark, because I have that for the Sega CD, we can run that. I was also mentioning other games I could potentially be doing in the future, because I mentioned, going back to something you were saying last week, Electverse, you're saying the concept of the PS3, PSP, and Vita stores going down. Monday, Sony confirmed that, yeah, they are. And I actually went to my retro game store. I bought a used PS3 for $100. And so that system is on the table completely now. And actually, one of the first games I bought with it was Metal Gear Solid 4 because it was $10. So that system's on the table. Anything from it is on the table. Anything to download from it for the next couple months is on the table too. In which case, if there's anything you or anyone else in the chat, how'd I do that? So I think I hit the B button just in one moment, and then I just did that weird jump. But, yeah, if there's anything you want to see for that, let me know. Let me know some recommendations of things on the PlayStation 3 side of things that I should get, feasibly, that aren't on other systems. Oh! Okay, good, I made that shot. Alright, so I'm doing not as bad now. But that's kind of what happens with this game, honestly. You're thinking, like, alright, maybe I'll do a little better, but then it kind of comes crashing down. At least he missed, so hopefully I can make that rebound. Yeah, it looked like I was barely, you know, synced with that jump. But if you do make the rebound, you get the ball back, so, it's good. In my case, anyway. Damn! Oh, my God. This game is an experience, I'll say that right now, hence why I'm doing it. Oh, but then I didn't have any time to react to Smash there. That being said, this is actually getting surprisingly close. Come on, Smash. Oh, and that pause in the video as well, that also makes it even worse when, you know, you can't, you know, make the shot, or you miss, or he knocks the ball out of your hands. Or he does that. It's more like he's dancing, honestly, than it is playing basketball, but I mentioned another case where you can kind of bounce the ball off his head, almost like it's NBA Street, which is a way better game, and a game I could also get to in due time. Or if he's the other sports games, I was mentioned NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which I have for the 32X, so I could show that off at some point too. But either way, just let me know what you want to see, or other things you might be having on your mind based on what you see on this game. Other things on full motion video gaming, or basketball, or any recommendations for PS3. I am looking into stuff that's expensive in their normal form, so that's where I've been focusing right away. Alright, well, that was close, at least. Let's do... You know, I'll do one more against Smash, and then after that we'll take a look at, Sewer Shark, and we'll call it a night. And we'll watch the credits after the next game, because there is a credits sequence for this, because, hey, it's a movie-like game, a movie-playing element. So there we go.
Ball.
Alright, ball. Alright, ball, man. If I hear ball, I think of, like, the announcer from World Series Baseball on the Sega Genesis, where he says, when you get a ball, it just says...
Did you hear thunder?
Oh, no, I didn't. But I was going to say that the announcer guy or the umpire guy in that game used to say, ball! That's a way better sports game, by the way. I could be playing this one. But I'm showing this, as I mentioned, for the experience of it. And same also with Sewer Shark. Alright, come on. There we go. Oh, see, the video there looked like I was going to make it, and then I just dropped the ball. Which is the most frustrating thing in the world as far as that, so... Same there. It looked like I was going to do a nice, you know, smooth move, and then I don't. But that's what happens with a lot of these games. They're controlled based on the video, so it's like, oh yeah, I press a button, and it pulls something that's going to happen, but then it's like, well, it looks like it's going to happen, and then it doesn't Actually, it looked like it just bounced off. That didn't even look like it went into the basket. And then again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just, we've gone, alright. Yeah, this is turning out horribly. Alrighty. Yeah, let that ball slapping thing be a metaphor, or a visual metaphor for what's going on right now to me in this game. But then again, I do like doing this. I have seen more of this game now than I think I have at any point I've owned it. So, in that case, I'm glad to be able to show it. And honestly, this is also one of those games I couldn't necessarily show to my coworkers because, as I've mentioned before, you need the 32X and Sega CD to play this. And in order to hook it up, you need to have 3 power adapters, those big square things that I have, as I do anytime I do a 32X or Sega Genesis or Sega CD game.
That was pure power.
Man, you suck!
Yeah, I did.
Let's go. Yo, that was solid.
See, I don't even need people in the chat telling me you suck, the game's doing it. So there you go. And well, that's a nice gesture, just giving her a nice leaf. Oh, and they cut away! Yeah, this game is rated teen, by the way, for... actually, this is one of those rare games of anything where the descriptor on the back of the box, there's nothing. They don't give a reason. I guess it's rated teen because of, I don't know, some of the exclamation things, or maybe that? I don't know. But, whatever. Alright, so we're done with that aspect of things. Let's watch the credits for a little bit, and then we're going to play some Sewer Shark. Which is going to be a little better, but also in the same vein because we're talking digital pictures tonight.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Alright, yeah, well, this game didn't bring it on, that's for sure, but, as I said, I have a little bit of grudging respect for it, but it's not good. You know, with the closure of the PlayStation Store on the PlayStation 3, Vita, and PSP, hopefully they'll bring those games to the PS5, and if they do, I'll buy it at the first chance. You mentioned this last week, the thought of, because they're doing patent elements, that there's the thought that maybe they'll revive it on the system. That would be great. I think that would be awesome for that perspective, because I will say this, of the stuff I've already been looking into or trying to figure out on the PlayStation 3 store, I don't know how people survive going through the navigation of the store all these years for that. So, I mean, a better setup of that would be welcome. But there is a lot of stuff on there. I was kind of doing, like, scouting of things that cost a lot of money in the physical form, if it's, like, on PS1 or PS2, or stuff that's specifically digital. I mean, in that case, then, Electverse, what would you recommend digital specifically? I mean, I was probably going to get Ratchet & Clank Quest for Booty because I know that only got a physical... or that didn't get a physical release here. It did outside of the US. And I think Echochrome was another one I was kind of curious about. And one game I did buy, because I know they didn't do a physical of this, I bought House of the Dead 4, because I'm a huge one on House of the Dead, and that's the only console port of that game that came out. So I bought that right away. That was like a $10 download, which is like, yeah, that's worth it. And that means also that I have almost all the House of the Dead games except the original, because that's another one that has not gotten re-released much. The only version of that is on Saturn, and it costs a fortune, unless you get the Japanese version. But, yeah, that's another story. But, yeah, I mean, I would like that to come to the new systems, just for the purpose of being able to have access to some of that, because there are a lot of things on there that do cost a fortune. Or, as I said when I went to the retro game store, I told him specifically, I was kind of doing some, you know, elements. Yeah, there's respect. It is performed by Scottie Pippen himself, surprisingly. So, there you go. But I specifically said to them, I said, I'm buying this for the purpose of this. And I said, for one specific reason, because it's cheaper to buy this system for $100 and download Klonoa than it is to buy Klonoa on the PlayStation itself, which runs for like $300. So in that case, it's like, oh yeah, it's an investment, but it's also an investment where it's costing less money because some of the games I download on that, or they're up on download for that, cost more than the damn system did. I mean, I downloaded Chillip, which is from Natsume, which is from the people who made Rule of Rose. That game goes for like $400. I'm like, okay, for the purpose of that, it's something you want to go about. Even if it made a subscription only, I'd still buy it. So like PlayStation Now, probably, because I know PlayStation Now. Because you're saying you have PlayStation 5. Do you have PlayStation 5? Question, like verse. And if you do, does PlayStation Now work on it? Because I know it does on PS4. I think they said PS5 as well. But yeah, something like that would be something neat for Sony to do. And give more perspective. I think Nintendo, I mean, honestly, in reaction to that, interesting enough, Microsoft kind of saw a little bit of a opportunity to that. I'm going to reset the console now. We're going to put Sewer Shark in while we have this discussion. And thankfully, the feed isn't cutting, which I'm glad. But I'm hoping that the disc reads. But if it doesn't, as I try to get it going, no, I do not own one. I wish I did. Yeah, I've heard from people who've been lucky enough to get them. In my case, I think my girlfriend got one. I'm going to Series X because I have backwards compatible stuff for that specifically. But I think that would be an interesting idea for them doing that. And I know this, I have PS4, okay, and yeah, backwards compatibility is only through the PlayStation Now, technically through that. And I mentioned last week, Microsoft kind of was pushing for that backwards compatible concept, and, okay, worked on First Shot with Sewer Shark. But yeah, I think this week they're even saying, like, hey, we want to, hold, like, preserve games as far as that. On the back of this, and feasibly on the back of, like, the Nintendo delisting stuff. Alright, but before we get back from that, we're going to talk about Sewer Shark. This was released in 1992 from Sony ImageSoft, also developed by Digital Pictures for the Sega CD. And the video's not taking up much of the screen. We have a lengthy opening cutscene. We're going to take a look at that. Which we do in a second. Hasbro, yes, because this was a Hasbro thing they were doing, and then he bought, or John Dykstra of Industrial Light and Magic was involved with kind of getting this working. But, yeah, here it is. This is Sewer Shark. And it is, it's also a trip. It's a funny trip, if nothing else. PlayStation 5 does have PlayStation Now. Okay. I wasn't sure how the, the execution of it went. Right, before we... Oh, boy.
First time, huh, rookie? Hey, listen. I hear they're putting you in with Ghost today. Now that's my main man. Greatest co-pilot to ever shoot the tubes.
This is a funny one, I'll say that too.
And it'll keep you flying.
Maybe all the way to Solar City. Robert Fulp. Yeah, I think... Yeah, he is someone sort of famous.
You'll be hearing from me.
Alright, that's Falco. We'll see you here later. Fitting, because we're doing Star Fox 64 next week, but not that one.
Welcome to the sewers, punk. The guy you're replacing, he had that same tough guy smirk on his face that you do. Till he hit the wall. They're out there now blotting him up with handy wipes. But the ghost here, I always come back for more.
Didn't he make Missile Command and Night Driver? Did he? That's interesting to know. That's cool. I honestly didn't really look into much with that.
Don't you love the smell of the sewers in the morning? They smell like victory.
Oh yeah, somebody's seen Apocalypse Now.
This here's the whole hog. I took her apart and I put her back together again. No matter what they taught you up at Top Rat, factory jobs ain't worth scrap. I got some stuff in her. It's not all strictly legal, but it just might keep you off the wall. Now until you earn a better one, your call sign.
This gets me every time.
Dog meat. All right, climb aboard, dog meat.
I remember when I first saw this game, I was laughing my ass off at that, but they go all the way. I'll give them that. And I guess Robert Fulp, I guess that's an interesting thing. I'll definitely have to look into that more. That's cool. All right.
And they go. But down here, this is the hole. I give you a name, a friend, a boss, and a reason to live.
He's responsible for the 2,600 ports of those.
Dog meat.
Wow. Okay.
I 1,000,000 pounds of tube steak. That's all you gotta deliver today, hot shot.
Trust me, tube steak does not mean what you think it does. Thank God. And fitting the solar concept, because solar in Star Fox 64. But that's very interesting. And given that this was made in 1987, or started at least, that would make sense that Philip would want to be involved in that.
So don't screw up, huh? Hey, Catfish!
Alright, this is Catfish, by the way.
I'm working real good now, Mr. Ghost. Oh my gosh, what is that ugly thing sitting in the pilot seat?
Catfish!
Yeah, that's not Alpha 5 of this game.
Run data. Evaluate.
Oh, well, 12 pilots missing, 3 recoveries with extensive transmedial lobotometric... Oh, well, heck, they're dead. A complete cranial evacuation is a no-brainer, Mr. Ghost.
Something down there sucked their brains out. Coordinates.
Well, they were all down there in Sector 19.
That's where Falco's headed. We better keep in close touch with her today.
Well, I sure hope she stays out of Sector 19. A nice girl like that.
Hey, Catfish, come on. Let's go kick a little ratigator butt, okay?
Oh, not another bug hunt, Mr. Ghost. Oh, gosh, I just...
No dog meat. Catfish needs a trip to Solar City worse than we do.
It's awful dark and scary down there, Mr. Ghost, and it smells terrible.
We are go for lunch.
Alright. So here is the game. We're, I guess, riding the tubes in the sewer. And there goes Catfish. We basically have, like, it's kind of a rail shooter, and that tells you orders you need to go around thing.
It's a game. Maybe it'll even be fun. Shoot the tubes, dog meat!
Alright, let's shoot the tubes.
We got a target.
He's gonna be our navigator, but he's also gonna point out the idea we have these weird rats we gotta destroy. Let's see Robert Fulp of, 393. Oh, shit. Okay, here's the thing. Whenever you see those arrows, it says 393. It shows the arrows at the top there. And you need to go left and right, pressing the B button when you get to a juncture, which is up on the top of the screen. That's interesting. Rob was in a band called Bourbon Therapy as a pianist. Okay. So this is going to be the ode to Rob Fulp, then. And information about what he does, and showing that, you know, this is the idea of him wanting to, you know, push gaming forward. Feasibly. Alright, now, okay, there we go. So he said right, left, right. And basically look at the top of the screen. When you get those yellow arrows, you hold the B button and you press the D-pad direction. So in that way, it kind of makes more sense for how this game works than we did with Slam City, if nothing else. And also, you do get, like, checkpoints and things when you get to certain areas. But as you go along, your energy goes down, and then what you need to do is find recharge stations, which, Catfish will tell us where those are. And feasibly, if we can keep shooting those enemies. Alright, you press the A button, by the way, to shoot things. That takes your energy away, which also goes away on its own anyway. And you also want to shoot those little bats and things.
We got some hungry critters bearing 9 or 12 sticks.
9 or 12 6. So basically, it's, again, look for, well, yeah, we see those. Actually, by the way, when the green ones light up, that also means that there's a charging station, which I'll have to keep an eye out for later. Because also, when I take the wrong turn, I'll crash in a wall and I'll die, and it's game over. Alright, I'm actually doing pretty decently, especially because I haven't played this game in a while. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh shit, I took the wrong direction! Alright, that's not going to be good. I think I'm going to be losing. I'm trying to see if I can, like, get another way out. Recharge coming up. Alright, so, there you go. Alright, so when he says that, you go in the direction that he points, and... Alright, this is gonna... I went the wrong way, so I'm hoping that this is gonna normalize itself out. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But just like with Slam City, it's full motion video, very grainy, much more than that one is, because we're not running the Sega CD on this baby. And also kind of like the Genesis twang music, despite it being a CD game. Again, because of all the video. Alright. This is definitely an interesting one, too. I like this better than Slam City, only because it seems like you can kind of control it a little better.
There's a whole mess of bogeys at bearing 9 or 12.
9 or 9 or 12. Old arcadey goodness, it looks like. Yeah, to an extent. Okay, 9 or 9 or 12, he said. So, yeah, because I also mentioned this when we did Knuckles Chaotix. I mentioned Road Avenger. which I think was by Renovation. I think that was Wolf Team who developed it. It was actually, that was the team that eventually went on to become the Tales studio of Namco's, to make the Tales of games like Symphonia and Zestria and things like that. And they started with that game, which is kind of like a full motion video, you know, racing kind of game. We have to kind of drive around and not have yourself, you know, die. And it's one I kind of wanted to pick up for the Sega CD just because I heard it's really good. So in that way, yeah, it kind of is that way. And for years I kind of thought, yeah, this is not a very good game. But it's one that, unlike Slam City, I learned how to play it a little better. And when I did that...
The dang thing bit me. Vector 6312.
6312. Okay. As long as you just pay attention to that, and when it has the arrows up there when it's green, those can be recharging stations, but it says 6312. There you go. Hold down and B button, and there you go. I'm surprised I'm doing as well as I have on this, because it's been less time, or more of a time that's passed since I played this. I just need 3 and 12. And see, this is another case. I don't... Shit! I missed the turn. I'm trying to... Uh-oh, I'm dead. Boom. Yeah, it gets a little more unforgiving later when you miss.
Here we go again.
Alright, off we go again.
Let's find out.
Let's try this again.
Freeway junction's coming up. Stay cool. Don't let them freak you out.
Catfish the whole hog.
Magis is remade in VR. Yeah, I could definitely, and given... It's good you mentioned that, because one thing I kind of mentioned briefly with, where are they? 393, okay, so... But you mentioned that interestingly, because there has been a lot of activity with a lot of the digital picture stuff, a lot of it getting re-released. Because, Night Trap got released again, Double Switch got released again. I actually bought the physical version of that when Limited Run put it out. But then they also put out new versions of Ground Zero Texas and Corpse Killer, and I'm surprised they haven't gotten to this one yet. I'm almost wondering if that's what they do. They go through all of the digital picture stuff, get the rights again to it, and then showcase that off. But you're right, the idea of a VR concept of this, especially with better video, because we're playing this on the Sega CD. This was also on the 3DO. I think it was on the PC as well. And usually when these things were on the 3DO, they did look better, usually. But given how expensive 3DO systems are, I don't have one, and I think it would probably be an expensive proposition to get, and also get the version of it, because these games run for a lot on those systems, whereas on Sega CD, this didn't. This actually was the pack-in with the Model 2 unit for a while, or later when the Model 2 unit came out. But the idea of a full-motion take on this would be interesting, especially if they can, you know, clean up the video, because they did that with, 636. My grandpa had one. Oh, he had a 3DO. Okay, that's interesting. What did he think of it? And did you ever play anything on it? And if so, what? I think I mentioned that. Okay. Alright. But yeah, I have no experience with the 3DO whatsoever. All I know is what I've read. All I know is the idea that it was... It's a concept that often was mentioned to me a couple times, which was... Will gaming ever turn into a situation where, like, it's a universal box, the way, like, a DVD player, or a Blu-ray player, or a VCR back in the day was? Because they had multiple companies licensing the technology from that, from Trip Hawkins, who made, he worked on EA, worked at EA, and shit, okay, there we go, I thought I missed the turn. And so, there are, like, multiple units of the systems that came out. For years, I thought, oh, it's a Panasonic system. I realized, no, it's not. It's something totally different that way. But it was, like, the interactive multiplayer, I think is what they referred to the tagline on it. And it was really expensive when it came out. It was a $700 investment. But I know there wasn't a whole lot of... Or the software support was a niche thing because of the price, so it didn't catch on. But in a lot of cases, it got a lot of ports of the digital picture stuff, and from what I understand, those usually tend to be viewed as the best versions of the games. This one, and Night Trap in particular. Well, Night Trap and the 32X CD. Road Rash, The Usual Lever Speed, Shockwave, Assault, Invasion, all by EA. Alright, 9er, 6-9er. Okay. Alright, okay, no, I just was seeing if I... Okay. I need to get a recharging station at some point, too. seen one come up. But yeah, those are interesting concepts too. And I do have, okay, I have Road Rash 2 on the Genesis Mini unit. We can show that off. I don't have the other ones. I should get a Need for Speed game of some sort though. Which of those would you necessarily want to see? I need a recharge station though, because I'm not doing horribly with my energy, but I do need to. All right. Oh, I thought there was a recharge station. Alright, they both found it, but the same guy. Indeed. I'm gonna hit a wall. Oh man. Yeah, unfortunately that didn't go. But I'll try one more time.
Here we go again.
Actually, with that line of "Here we go again," that makes me wonder: am I? Because they said, "Hey, we don't want to, wipe you off of the wall," but they're doing that. So, is this a situation where my, what is it?
The critter's at 6, 12, 3.
6, 12, 3. Okay. But is it a case where I'm being reincarnated? I mean, maybe it is. Who knows? I think he said 6, 3, 12. But yeah, we're doing okay so far, at least. Okay, so they give you the little red on the arrow to tell you don't go that way. Or I made a mistake by going that way. By not going that way.
Remember your jump data!
I'm trying to. He said it was 12. Alright. Technically, EA is on console, so that's why I feel. Well, I mean, I'll tell you why I think maybe it was the price, because it's not that the 3DO didn't have good games. I mean, clearly you're saying that it did, and I know, well, actually mentioning that, Road Rash was on 3DO. It was widely seen as the best version of the game. So, I think the idea was there of, I'll tell you what I get on that, from what I gather. It's like this stuff, and I think I'm probably gonna die because I think I missed the juncture. I didn't see the 9 come up, but I'm almost wondering if it's that idea of
Hungry critters bearing 9 or 12, 9er.
9 or 12, 9er. Okay, the price killed it. Well, the price killed it, yes, I think. But here's the thing: if it was amazing and everybody would want it, and there was like one thing that really made people say, "Oh yeah, you got to get this," then maybe. But I don't know. I mean, because I'm thinking also like the Neo Geo, because the Neo Geo was not necessarily a flop of a system exactly. It didn't sell as well as the Super Nintendo or the Genesis, but that was like a $600 unit, and it kind of carved out a niche, whereas the 3DO and the CDI and some other stuff didn't make that happen. Recharge. Oh, I missed the recharge. Down. Yeah, I think I did the directions. EA was greedy even back then. Yeah, maybe, but I mean, I'll say this. They did come up with the idea in an earnestness of thinking, well, hey, we can do that. And if nothing else, like... Oh, man. Okay, I missed it. We'll do another run to that then. But I'm wondering, because I'll say this. I'll say this about EA. I understand the elements of them that are a problem, and I agree with them. At the same time, though, I also think, how do they become a big company to begin with? And in a lot of ways, it was taking risks. And to be fair, some of them didn't work. This one didn't work, or the 3DO didn't work. But at the same time, some of the other ones did, and I love when they do take a risk at some point, even though later it's like, alright, fine, they're not going to go in with it. Like with Rock Band, for example. I'm a huge fan of that. Without EA, that game would have never come out. And so I can't complain to that, but even like in the 90s, stuff like Road Rash, stuff like Need for Speed, these were great games, and they still are great games. And I'll tell you this, and this is also, in a way, going back to the PlayStation concept as far as the store shutting down, the idea of preserving games and kind of holding to that element. And I kind of would love to see a lot of companies do that, not just, I'm mentioning Sony, but also like EA and Nintendo, to kind of look and see like, hey, look at this history of gaming. In a weird way, kind of look at it in the same way as we do with movies, or movies or books or things like that. And if nothing else, the push for 3DO, the push for full motion video, was kind of a reflection of, can we make the gaming industry? Clearly, the people who are involved in all those things love gaming so much, or had such a belief in it. They said, we want to see it become this huge medium. I mean, and they didn't work in their cases, but I love the fact that they were able to show that care enough of wanting to make this work, or because they saw like the idea of games being more, and I love that idea. I mean, nowadays we can play. I mentioned you can play a game for any reason you want to play a game for, and a lot of other things, which is also why I show off the stuff I do during the week or when the weekend now like this. Like, here's history of what this was looking like, and then putting it in context with what gaming now looks like. Because the show is Super Old Game Saturday, but that's all, as I mentioned, when we did Super Mario Brothers 35, I'll do more recent stuff to basically put it in the context of what is gaming now and why do we still game. I mean, you're saying you want to get a PlayStation 5 really badly. Clearly, I mean, if you were not interested in gaming, you would have given it up. Like, you would not want to still be going to this. You wouldn't come to my show every week or come to any show feasibly. Have an interest in games that way. But clearly, there's that love and that passion. And even in these cases of things that failed or things where you can say, like, EA's gotten greedy, and they have. You're right about that. But even still, it's something that they took those risks to get the industry to where it is today. So it's something that you also wish that they would remember that. And to be fair with EA, they kind of are a little, because we're getting like the NCAA football game. There's like a rights thing that goes to that. So the NCAA football games from the 360 and the PS3 cost a fortune, surprisingly. It's like, they're bringing it back, so I'm like, great, I'd love to see that back. I'd love to see Fight Night come back, as far as, like, the boxing game they do. That game's awesome. I could show those off. In fact, I think what I'll do is, near the end of the year, I do, like, a grab bag around Thanksgiving. I did last year for Plancheers. I'm going to do fighting games. I'm going to show off Fight Night Round 3 as part of that. Because I'm going to use the 360. We're going to show off a bunch of stuff for that. I got some nice things planned to that showcase. And I'm also doing, like, editing on the videos I've taken for some of those things to get them up and running for, like, the archive stuff, which I'm going to keep giving you some updates on feasibly next week. I've more started editing the videos, making sure that I have everything in line as far as, like, having them stitched right, making sure that, like, everything is looking good, and all that stuff. So that's really where I am with that now. And also, when I get guest appearances on the show going, that's going to be the other part of it that I think is going to go stronger. And so in that way, it's like I want to like do a showcase like every year for Thanksgiving, so that's what it's going to be. And I'll show that off and then go into that more. 3-12-3, okay. And even though I have to pay attention to this game, it's still something I can still feasibly comment over despite that. Alright, let's see. Okay, so there's 3-12-3, I think you said. Okay, so I gotta find a charging station. Okay, so looking good. So here's the other thing, you have to pay attention to the voices, and there's no subtitles in this game, so you have to make sure you're on your game. Alright, there we go, so that's turn. Alright, let's see. Okay, I think that's that. I'm gonna listen for a charging station situation, hopefully. And also shooting these enemies because some of them can hurt you later. Alright, let's see. Come on. Come on, charging station. Yeah, I have to listen to the voiceover for this. So, come on. Or...
Dog food, or whatever your name is. This is Commissioner Stencler. Listen, pal, you're a disgrace to the exterminating profession. If I didn't have this pressing dinner engagement, I'd come right down there and He'd
deck ya!
Yeah, I'd deck you.
Your missing eradicator's the size of your eggs! Snap out of it! Shoot the tubes!
Alright, that, by the way, is Robert Costanza, who I believe, from what I understand... What do we got? Hang on. 12-6-3. As I was saying, though, he apparently does a lot of, like, imitation work, or did a lot of imitation work of Danny DeVito, from what I understand. I was looking into stuff for this. But, so there are some famous people. I know, in Corpse Killer, you had Vincent Schiavelli, the late Vincent Schiavelli, involved as the villain in that game. And that might be one to show off if I can get a copy of it. Although I've understood with that one. That's on 32X CD as well. I've understood that there's a lot of technical problems with that version, so I might just get it on the Sega CD and deal with the lesser video quality. But the purpose, again, of having, you know, real, you know, people involved with movies or other people in games, as you mentioned, with Robert Fulop, which I didn't know that. I'm glad you added to that conversation. And again, I'm glad for, like, for you as well in the chat, but also just the chat in general, coming in every week, having this discussion. Because that's why I see the show as I mentioned. Just a nice, relaxing time where we come here, we experience the game, whether it's good, bad, in between, have a good laugh, have a good discussion, share our love of gaming, the idea of why do we still love gaming to this day, and why did we get into it. And I'm not going to say games like Slam City and Sewer Shark got me into this in the first place, but it was always a fascination to me just to be seeing, like, the cutting edge of technology. And in that way, I think, like, first you're mentioning your grandfather had a 3DO, so I think we probably were an interesting case of being around at a time, and I would think some other people too, of being on the cusp of what the tech push for stuff it was, and the fascination of having it now or having it brought back, and feasibly exposing it to younger generations. You mentioned you have family members who are younger saying, like, hey, you spoil them, but also you probably I'm going to assume you probably show them some of your gaming stuff. You'll show them, like, older things and say, hey, look at what this is how gaming was back in the day, and look how far we've come, but also the idea of even some of this older stuff having value. And I need a charging station badly because my energy's going down. You spend more energy, by the way, for doing, you know, shooting.
Falco to Ghost. Falco to Ghost. I hope you read me, my friend. I'm onto something totally rad here. This is hot stuff, buddy. You gotta come meet me right away. I'm gonna give you jump data to my sector gate, and then I'm gonna talk you in from there, okay? Here we go. 6, 12, 3.
Alright, so it's 6, 12, 3.
Let your pilot's a total pinhead. Turn and burn, babe. Falco out.
Alright, so Falco 6, 12, 3. I don't know how long I'm gonna get there.
Are you nuts? It's almost Sector 19. Blast her. She's just asking for it. Sector 19's a sewer jockey's graveyard. Well, you heard her. Turn and burn, dog meat.
Alright, 6, 12, 3, I think you said, but I need energy. So 6. I don't think the enemies can hurt me right now, massively, but 6, 12, 3. But I need a charging station bad. I'm running low. If I run out, I'm dead. No, 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 no. You know, oh. No, that was bad. No, no, no. Oh, no, I took the wrong turn. I think I'm gonna die. I should think if I hit the wall or the grate there, I want to see where I continue from.
Here we go again.
Ah, crap. Let's start here at the beginning. I think the way this works, by the way, is as you play along, and I've done this once, you get a higher tagline. You start as dog meat, and then you get something else. And later, when you get a promotion that way, you then get a checkpoint. So if you die, you can go there. Oh, I'll try one more time. 3, 6, 3. I mean, that's one way to get an energy recharge. So 3, 6, 3. Okay.
Looking good.
Alright, so basically you just kind of want to repeat that in your mind so you remember it was like 6, 3... Or 3, 6, 3. Or basically, right, down, right. And usually when you get that red arrow like we saw, that means you're in trouble. You know, even though these games are not... Okay, fine. This is better than Slam City, as I mentioned. Even though this is not a great game, I'm still kind of having fun, again, with the discussion, which is what this show is about, and that's how I want to differentiate myself. I've mentioned before that I don't necessarily need a stream like this to have a massive audience, like thousands and thousands of people. But I'm fine with it being something smaller just to be able to have a nice, relaxing, you know, capper to the end of the week. Or, I mean, as I mentioned, maybe the way I came about it was... I want to have like a communal element with friends and family as well when I'm at distance from them, particularly now, but hopefully that's going to change soon.
Bearing 12, 6, 3.
12, 6, 3. Okay, but in that case, I started with that concept, but that was really kind of the concept of it, that you said, like, you know, if you had a bad day, you're, like, kind of wanting to, you know, just unwind. Sometimes you want something to escape with, and a game like this, any game feasibly can be an escape to that. And in that way, I think it's kind of what I kind of go about here. And I hope I'm giving you at least some kind of an entertaining show to this, just for the purpose of this. Because honestly, I'm just a guy who's just likes games, basically. And I have, like, a weird fascination with some of these aspects of it, or even something like a game like a Sewer Shark. Actually, I think that red and green thing that was on the screen there, I think you do a turn there and it happens, unless they tell you, hey, go this way. Alright, it does a little slow. Oh! I thought I went the right way. Alright, we'll try one more time, and then I guess I'll probably call for the night, just because... Yeah, may as well. I pulled almost 2 hours out of, well, the Slam City game and this game, so in that way I feel like it's been satisfying. And next week we'll definitely be in a much better state, because next week we're doing Star Fox 64 on your recommendation, Electverse. It'll be 3 playthroughs of the game. We're going to be going through the expert mode to go through the easy path, then the medium path, and then the hard path. So we're going to show every level off the game. And the week after that is the new Supersonic Game Saturday entry for April. We have Shadow the Hedgehog. We'll play on the Xbox. And when we do that, come by and tell me which way we're going to go, what missions we're going to do. I'll take whatever the chat wants for the first playthrough, and then we'll do the last story. And then after that, the week after that, we're going to do Katamari Damacy reroll. We're going to finish it off. We only have about an hour and a half, so left on that one. If we run into a case where I'm kind of either done with it quick or treading water, which is the case of this one, I was treading water with Slam City, I'll toss in Mr. Driller Online, because that's a downloadable game that kind of connects to Katamari Damacy in terms of some of its presentation and some of its audio. So I think that'll be a nice one. And then May is basically pretty much open, except for we're going to start Super Mario RPG at the end of the month. We're going to do something for Super Sonic Game Saturday. I don't know what that'll be. If you guys in the chat have any, or guys and gals in the chat have any ideas of what you want to see, tell me, I'll do them. The only limitation I'm going to put on is Sonic 1, we're doing that in June, and Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles, we're doing that when I have a special guest involved on the show, which should hopefully be sooner rather than later, but I don't know if it's going to be as soon as next month. But anyway, whatever you want to see, I'll come here, I'll show it to you. As long as you're getting something entertaining out of it, as long as you're interested, if it gives you that kind of good feeling of escape from whatever might be going on for you personally, or you just want to come by and have a nice time with gaming and explore that, and have this kind of, you know, close and, you know, I guess intimate setting when you really think about it, yeah, there you go, we'll do it. But I love the discussions we haven't. Okay, there we go, recharge coming up. Yeah, when he says that, it is that little red and green indicator, and I think I might have went the wrong way. Oh shit, I did go the wrong way. And we take the wrong path, I don't know if you can get out of it usually. I think right here I'm gonna hit the wall. Alright, I'll try one last time, and then we will watch the credits, and we will go.
Maybe you're good enough, dog meat. Let's find out. Freeway junctions coming up. Stay cool. Don't let them freak out.
Alright.
The critter's at 6, 3, 12.
6, 3, 12. Alright. Actually, I think that's part of what they're saying is like, hey, the critters are there, so you have to shoot them down. I think that's why I wasn't making progress in some cases. 6, 3, 12. Okay. Sometimes he'll just say the numbers out. Pay attention to where those targets come up on screen and shoot them. Yeah, that's what the A button, the C button doesn't do anything, and the B button is to go down the junctions, but you have to do it pressing the D-pad in that direction, like here. Up and B. And they just kill everything that's here. Enjoy that grungy Genesis-ness while the weird, sort of pixelated... That's the other weird thing, or kind of funny thing about these games, the idea of like these pixelated on-screen game elements going with a full-motion video. Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard that. That was my phone with the sonic ring giving a text, I guess. So I'll take a look at that later.
We got some hungry critters bearing 636.
636. All right. Six, 3, 6.
Way to go, buddy! Recharge coming up!
Alright, so there's the recharge. That's safe. Alright, so the recharge is your safe point. So going down that way is fine. I can go 6 now, so we're set. Yeah, it's weird. I passed those things and they didn't tell me, oh, a recharge is coming up. Also, that meter down there, below there, I guess that's what? Enemies I'm killing? I don't know. I'm not sure. See, unlike Slam City, I don't have the manual for this game, but feasibly, I was able to figure it out. So in that way, it's a better game. So you're gonna play any of the Digital Pictures games I showed you tonight, play this one. Although I guess if you're gonna play any of them, I'd say play Night Trap for the historical element. And maybe Double Switch, because also Double Switch, yeah, at some point I might have to do another Digital Pictures night. At that point, we'll do Night Trap and Double Switch, because I have those for the, well, Switch.
There's a whole mess of bogeys at bearing 12, 6, 12.
12, 6, 12, okay. Come on, bat guy, you gotta go down. Went back, went to get a drink. Alright, good to have you back. I was just mentioning that I was thinking at some point we might come back to Digital Pictures at some point on Switch doing Night Trap and Double Switch, because those are the other two I have. But I was mentioning that I also have been having a good time just doing this game, or these games tonight, just the purpose of something different, but also sharing the idea of what was gaming like, and hopefully giving you an entertaining show, and also giving you something to, you know, relax with, and to kind of forget whatever might be going on. If it's just you personally or anyone in the chat, or like, just let's come in and have a nice relaxing time discussion with games. And I do appreciate that, and it made me look forward to this every week and want to keep it going. I mean, this is something that I could see myself doing for a long, long time, just to be having it going. Alright. 9 or 12-3. Bezo trying to show a little bit of some of this stuff, and then feasibly at some point I think I probably will, when I hit the wall next, I think I'll probably call it for the night. And then next week is going to be your choice of Star Fox 64. We're going to give that game a full playthrough, or full playthroughs, show every level off. Then Shadow the Hedgehog, then the week after that, and then the completion of Comrade Damacy reroll. And May is totally open except for Mario RPG, which is going to be the end of the month. We start that. And then, I don't know what I'm going to do for Supersonic Game Saturday. So if you have any suggestions for that, let me know. And I'll make them happen. Except Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles, because I have a guest I plan to be doing that one with. And Sonic 1, I'm doing in June anyway. Alright, we'll do it one more time, just because that was a little too short as far as that. So I'm just trying to, again, give a sense of this game, what it is, and also try and get some decent progress. I'm getting more progress in this one than I am in Slam City, so there's that at least. And also seeing the, I guess the, appealingly cheesy elements of this game, of just that guy going, or Ghost doing, like, the dog meat thing. I think he said 6-3-12. Hopefully that was what it was. Okay, I guess it was, because usually if you take the wrong turn, it'll show red. And you'll be in trouble unless you have a way to recover yourself. Alright. Right. I think 12 was the other one he gave. How about Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing? I have Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. In particular, I could definitely look into that other one as well. Do you have a preference? If that's the case, yeah, I will do that one then. I may as well. I mean, show off the game. Or show off both. Actually, no. I don't think it costs that much. I can see if I can get Sonic and Sega and show off that one and then Transformed. Because I transformed on the 360 and we can show it off that way and then show that one. That's fine. Okay. Alright, I like that then. Again, and I'll plan for... Yeah, I'll plan to do some other stuff. But yeah, that is a good case showing off a racing game. Alright, that'll be another test, and I appreciate your suggestion to that. Transformed is fine. Well, he said 3-something-9er. Transformed is alright. Okay, it was that'll show Transformed off. I also do have Team Sonic Racing, but I won't show that off. If I was going to show off Team Sonic Racing, I'm going to show it off when I get Series X, because... Yeah, Team Sonic Racing, I have it for Xbox One. It's decent, but it also has issues with frame rate, even on the Series X, or not on the Series X, on the Xbox One X. And then I played it on the Switch, going back to examples of, like, the Bad Game Thursday concept with friends. Oh, that not work? Oh. Yeah, I thought I took a recharge station. Oof. Well, we played... Okay, am I going the right way? I think I've kind of lost track where I'm going, but it's not giving me the red on my screen, so maybe I'm okay. But we played Team Sonic Racing on the Switch, where the multiplayer has it running at 15 FPS, and we were laughing like, oh my god, what happened? I think the person who brought it in, he said his brother bought it and gave him the Switch version. I said, did you do something to your brother to piss him off? Did you, like, make him angry? He's like, yeah, let me give you this version of the game. But I was like, well, he said no, but I was like, well, yeah, it's better that way, but yeah, if you're gonna play that game, play it on something. Don't play it on the Switch, I'll say that right now, especially given how you can go play Mario Kart 8 and it runs perfectly. We can show off Team Sonic at some point, but that's gonna be way down the road. We'll start with Transformed, because the other thing about Transformed and well, Transformed and also Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing as well, it lets us go into classic Sega lore elements, because... In fact, actually, I'll tell you one reason that I'm glad you said Transformed, because you have a lot of the classic Sega characters. In that one, you have Joe Musashi from Shinobi. You were saying you want to see some Shinobi representation. We can get that, and there's one, the course of that, they have a great remix of Itaden from Shinobi 3 on that, which is awesome, so we can show that off. And also be previewed when we do Diddy Kong Racing, which is going to be... That's going to be another when I have a guest on, and I'm going to slam into the wall again. Alright, fine. One last time, we take us out to 2 hours then, and then we'll watch the credits, and we'll be good. But when I do Diddy Kong Racing, I'm going to be having a guest, because we're going to do the co-op adventure mode, which is a locked element of that game, if you're not aware. And it is, I think that'll be a fun one. Because I've actually never done the co-op variants of that game before for the adventure mode, so that'll be fun. 3-12-3. Alright. Alright, yeah, I was hitting C almost to do that turn. 3-12-3. Alright. It's basically you're just reading the numbers out. Have you ever seen the television show Lost, where it's like the thing with the numbers? 3-12-3. Okay. Yeah, I almost missed the 12 turn. It's funny, I could go up, down, left, right, but Shinobi 3 is probably my top 20, and at some point we will do Shinobi 3. I adore that game so much, as I've mentioned before, and I know you've mentioned too. At some point we'll definitely take a look at Shinobi 3, because that game is awesome. I would love, 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 love to show that off. You know, at some point that will be on the docket. I have a lot of games on the docket, and eventually we'll get to Shinobi 3, and I'm going to start there. When we do Shinobi stuff, we're starting with Shinobi 3. I'm just going to put it out right there, because that game is awesome, and it is so terrific. And I think we can have a great discussion on that game, while also expressing just how awesome it is and why. And starting with the music as part of that. So, alright. I will look forward to definitely doing Shinobi 3. Awesome sauce, indeed. And, thank you again for the suggestions and your viewership, and I hope I'm giving you a good time, and, I'm having a good time definitely doing this, and again, I'll do it every week. 6-6-12. Okay. Again, every week I'll be here. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for classic gaming goodness, or not goodness in the case of Slam City, not horribleness in the case of this one, but intriguingness. At the very least, I've mentioned before, we get into the guts of gaming here. We go into the history of it, we go into the current elements of it, and we do it all. So, there you go. And I think, as I said, as we go through the rest of this year, the future's looking bright for this year in general, but also just for other games to show, other experiences to have as well. Recharging station to the right. Alright, you want to go where the green is. Okay, so I'm learning a little bit as I go along. So it was 6, 6, 12. I didn't see a 12 come up. And when you go into the charging stations, by the way, that does not, put you in danger of crashing, thankfully. So in that way, this game is more forgiving when you understand it, but the key is when you understand it, because as Slam City was the case, Slam City in some ways is also luck, even when you do understand it. But with this one, at least there's a little bit of an internal logic, which I think is why people tend to like this one more, or Night Trap in particular. It's like something you can kind of attach to, as far as a gameplay perspective, and that mixture of their push for trying to make video gaming and movies co-align, which, I mean, it was an interesting attempt just in general for digital pictures, and they went for it. There's many at 9 or 3.6. Okay. But in that case, I mean, at least they had the attempt, so then you had other cases where other companies would take, like, mixtures of games like the Lord of the Rings games, which I can't show off any of those because of the license reasons, but they are amazing. The ones from EA. Again, EA, you can say a lot of things about problems they've had and things they did, but they did right with the Lord of the Rings games they did, so I gotta give them credit where credit's due in that case. But again, I can't show off any of those unless I turn off all the audio, which might not be very entertaining. Well, actually, I'll have to see if there's like a turn off the audio. Wait, oh right, he said... Okay, no, it's down. Alright. I hope it's down. Okay, good. Because that was the other thing I was thinking of, games where there's licensed material, I'll have to turn off music. If maybe there's a way I can turn off music on some of that stuff. It'll depend on what it is, but I'll have to take a look. Alright. 363. Alright, let's take another turn. Let's take another try of this, or another thing in section. 363. Alright. I mean, I get what you're saying also as far as this chat as well, and Like versus Well. The idea of a VR concept for this game. Because there are a lot of older games they did that with. In fact, you mentioned one of the games they gave away on PS4 and 5 is free. Rez, which has a VR option. And that's one like, whoa, that's a terrific game to show off. And that's another one I'd like to show off at some point, too. Although I might also want company on that, because then I can get the trans vibrator concept going. Not because I have the trans vibrator, because I have the 360 version of that, but they implemented it on the other controller. So that could be kind of funny to showcase that perspective. Maybe put the other controller near where the mic is so you can hear the boom, boom, boom with the music if you've ever played Rez before. Actually, that's also feasibly one of the music games I could show off. I'm saying licensed material and having to dance around that. There are a couple of music games I guess I could play. I guess I could do the Parappa games. I just have to get 2 at some point, because I have Malami and the first one. And there's Robert Costanza again as Commissioner Stensler.
You're a disgrace to the exterminating profession. If I didn't have this pressing dinner engagement, I'd come right down there and I'd...
He decked you!
Yeah, I'd deck you.
Your missing eradicator's the size of Yerks! Snap out of it! Shoot the tubes!
Alright, we'll deal with him maybe later. Oh, no, we're not going to deal with him later, but he's the villain of this game, if you're not aware.
We got a lovely assortment of bogeys bearing. Niner, 12, Niner.
Niner, 12, Niner. Alright. So you kind of get into a little bit of a zone on this, so I can get the idea of a VR concept to this, too. And since they've been, like, remaking and re-releasing and restoring digital pictures games left and right, on PS4 and Switch in particular, I could see them going to this one next. And that being a great idea, because they've talking about game preservation. We're talking about that with PlayStation stuff, and I guess with Nintendo turning off Mario 35, it doesn't work. They weren't joking. It's gone, as are all the other elements of it. But, like, preserving games, I think they're doing a great thing with, like, releasing this stuff on the newer systems, because it looks better than it's ever looked before. And it's giving it to a new generation of gamers. Even someone like me, where I didn't play all this stuff at the time. I'm sorry, I didn't play any of these digital pictures games at the time, but I didn't even play them, like some like, what was it, well, Night Trap, and then also, Double Switch. I didn't play those till the Switch versions came out. So it's me doubling back on games I didn't play when I was growing up, so getting that experience too. And they look great. I mean, I have the Switch versions of Night Trap and Double Switch, and they look terrific as far as they restored them. and it looks awesome. It's like when they like do revivals of films, or they remaster like the negatives and things like that. So I love that. And I'm hoping maybe stuff like that, we can get more of that going on in games, like games where the source code is gone. Like Panzer Dragoon Saga. People are hoping with that. Hopefully with those remakes they had out, or the one remake of the first one, Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei, that was on the Saturn, they're doing a remake of that. Those sell well enough, we get Saga remade. I would love that. And the idea of game preservation, and Microsoft saying they're big into it with their backwards compatible stuff. And hopefully that's the case. Which is ironic coming out of Microsoft, because Microsoft for years had problems with that on the PC. With like DLLs of the Windows updates, you know, making games like Age of Mythology unplayable. But give them credit where credit's due. They made mistakes too. The online requirement initially thought of Xbox One was a big mistake, but they hit onto something for the classic stuff, and I love it. And hoping Sony and Nintendo do more of it.
I hope you read me, my friend.
Alright, let's try seeing with Falco one more time. From the video, looks like something's wrong with the G diffuser. We'll see that next week. I'm looking forward to that, and thank you very much for your recommendation on that to look first. I cannot wait to show off Star Fox 64.
Here we go. 12, 6, 3.
Okay, 12, 6, 3. We gotta follow those coordinates. Let's see if I can get a little further than I did last time.
Ghost of Falco. Are you nuts? It's almost Sector 19. Blast her. She's just asking for it. Sector 19's a sewer jockey's graveyard. Well, you heard her. Turn and burn, dog meat.
Alright, so 12, 6, 3, she said. Let's see. That's 6, but we don't want that yet. Alright, there's 12. Let's get rid of these bats. Hopefully find a charge station coming up. 12, 6, 3. Here's 6.
Recharge coming up.
Left. There we go. Got it. There we go. And you want to do that because your energy, if it goes down to nothing, you're done. Alright, 12, 6, 3, but I went 3 technically for that, but that was the recharge station. So, oh shit, I missed the 3. Oh crap, I'm done. Oh no, I'm hitting the wall. Boom. Alright. Well, I tried. And I got more of a, element going. Yeah, Robert Costanza plays Stenchler, who is actually, I think, did a lot of, you know, imitation work of Danny DeVito, from what I understand. And the title music composed by Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo and of the Rugrats fame. Okay, so I was not aware of that. Alright, so yeah, so that's, again, the idea of trying to go into, you know, movie stuff more. And Robert Dykstra, as I mentioned, who worked on Industrial Light and Magic, the stuff for Star Wars, for the special effects. So yeah, that is Sewer Shark as a nice little bonus on the top of the weirdness and insanity that is Slam City with Scottie Pippen, which is not worth the $90, I'll tell you that right now. For this, it's cheaper for the Sega CD version. This is dirt cheap, Sewer Shark is, because it was bundled in with a bunch of systems. But yeah, if you like, you know, I don't know if it's that Michael Jackson who edited it, but that would make sense because of the Sega connection, and he was involved with Sega and a lot of stuff. And Sony, before they went to PlayStation, they were doing publishing. And they published this game. I think I got a couple other games of theirs they published. We can show off at some point. But, yeah. Alright, so that was the full motion video, I guess, ode to Digital Pictures Part 1. We will see them again whenever I go to Night Trap and to Double Switch. I always forget which one it is. Filmed on location in Hollywood, California, and on the beach of Oahu, Hawaii. Wow, they definitely spent a lot of money to this. Or spent money, you know, on location. So, alright. So, I think that's going to call it for Super Old Games Saturday for tonight. We'll let, I think it is an unlimited continue unless... did the game freeze? Here
we go again.
Okay, no, it's going to go again. We're going to talk over going again. We'll probably hit the wall again. Because I know what happens is it doesn't really even have, like, a menu or anything. It just starts again. Because you have unlimited continues, technically. So, alright.
Don't let him freak you out.
Yeah, I'm not letting him freak you out. All right, let him go. He'll crash into a wall. But, so this is what happens, again, when you don't do anything. You're just going to hit a wall eventually. But with that, I'm going to call it for Super Old Game Saturday for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're, had an interesting, experience with these two FMV games. We'll come back to Digital Pictures at some point in the future. But on the docket for the next couple of weeks, next week on Elect versus Recommendation and Gracious One. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your viewership as well. Thank you very much. You're making this channel happen. You're making it interesting. You're adding to the discussions of all these things, and I love that. And I love hearing what you have to say about gaming, what you have to say about the game I'm seeing, other things that tangentially tie off. It's wonderful, and I thank you very much, and I appreciate that input so much. So for that, and because it was requested of me, we're going to do Star Fox 64 next week, playing through it 3 times to cover all the levels. The week after that is Super Sonic Game Saturday for April. We're doing Shadow the Hedgehog for the Xbox, a different version than people tend to do it. They usually do it on GameCube. I got Xbox, which is the best version of the game, quote-unquote. And we're going to play through it once with your selections of which paths I'm going to take each mission. And then after one playthrough full of that, we do the last story. Then at the end of the month, we're going to be doing Katamari Damacy Reroll. We're going to be finishing it off, because we have about an hour, hour and a half, and I'll toss in Mr. Driller Online for that, because it's a Namco release, and it goes with it, sorta. So with that, we should soon be hitting the wall. And in May, I will do Sonic and All-Stars Transformed for the 360, which is definitely going to be a nice case of doing racing games with Sonic, and Sonic believing in a fair fight in racing games and getting in a car. So I'm going to look forward to that. Alright, so with that, I'm going to wait until I hit the wall. It'll have to be, Actually, I'm surprised it's going as long with me not doing anything without hitting a wall. And I don't know why it's doing that, because it's not doing any turns. But, yeah, I just want to see this happen, see myself just go. I don't think you could beat the game, by the way, by doing nothing, so it's worth pointing that out. Alright, there we go, finally. And, okay, this is different. It puts you back at the title screen. I don't know if you have, like, a limitation on continues or what.
Here we go again.
Alright, we're not going again, but, you know what, can I pause this? Let me see. No, maybe not. Alright, but, with that, I will... You know what, I will see if I can pause this, and then we'll, call for the night.
Stay cool. Don't let him freak you out.
Okay, I can, good. Alright, so there is pause, so, Alright, with that, I will call it for Super Old Game Saturday for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'm here every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for classic gaming goodness, badness, weirdness, awesome susness. Anything you want. Anything we're going to see, we can do. And I'll be here each week. Next week is Star Fox 64 for the Nintendo 64, playing off the actual system. And we're going to show that game all the love that it deserves, because it is a beautiful game. And it's a nice, reward, I guess, for some of the FMV-ness that we had this week, but I had a great time doing this tonight. I had a great time showing this off, talking with you all in the chat. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next week for Star Fox 64. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and a happy Easter tomorrow. Take care, keep being awesome, and I will see you next week.